This thing is deceptive. This thing actually is pretty quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a 2023 Toyota Crown Platinum with the Hybrid Max. This is essentially Toyota's replacement for the Avalon, which we no longer have. This is pricier. It's essentially a sedan that's a little bit lifted, somewhere between CUV and traditional sedan. This is in a supersonic red color with the black bitone, which is a $550 option. MSRP for this vehicle is right around $52,000 in this top level trim. The styling on the vehicle, somewhat polarizing. I think it's a reasonably reasonable vehicle. Not terribly ugly, not terribly beautiful. This is essentially the higher level Toyota for those who don't quite want a Lexus, but who want something a little bit more than a regular Camry or equivalent. We're powered by a 2.4 liter turbocharged engine with also a electric motor to the rear. This is Toyota's hybrid Max system, pushing out 340 horsepower, 332 pound-feet of torque. We've got a direct shift 6-speed automatic transmission, and when you use the paddles to shift up or down, it only takes those as a suggestion, not a command, not an order, but a suggestion, and if it feels like it, it'll wait a little while and then give you the shift that you requested. If there's a word to sum up this driving experience, to drive up this vehicle, it's reasonable. You have reasonable comfort. It's actually pretty soft and supple. It feels nice. NVH, I can hear a bit of wind, but road noise isn't too bad. It's reasonable. Nice soft leather on the steering wheel. Feels nice to the touch. The interior quality and materials feel pretty typical Toyota. I am very appreciative that they're giving us physical HVAC, something that's becoming more and more of a rarity these days, unfortunately. Both of these screens are okay. The resolution is okay. The contrast is okay. I've definitely seen better. And especially at this price point, the low 50s, it would be nice to have a little bit of a higher quality screen. Giving it the beans. Clearly, you buy a Toyota Crown for its 0 to 60 time, which apparently is 5.7 seconds, faster than I expected. Again, that's with the Hybrid Max, the top trim. The car weighs around 4,300 pounds. And it's also pretty lifted, so on these corners you are getting a little bit of more body motion. But again, you're not buying this car for the canyon carving driving dynamics. Unless you are, no judgment. If you want to get a hybrid, Toyota's hybrids are hard to beat. Yeah, at the lower speeds, this does actually have a good amount of get up. This thing is deceptive. This thing actually is pretty quick. Let's see how it goes from a dig. Deceptively quick. Faster than you would expect, for sure. In terms of the actual driving experience, it's pretty pillowy, pretty soft. It's like a nice supple cloud. I like that. In a comfy cruiser like this, that's the kind of suspension tuning that you want. Even if it gives you a little bit more body roll and not the best body control, that's not what we're trying to optimize for. Very light steering,
perhaps the least steering I have ever felt in a vehicle, but again, you don't buy a Toyota Crown for the steering feel. The inputs are very standard Toyota. If you've driven a Toyota hybrid, something like a Prius, this feels very aligned with that. I will say that with Toyota hybrids, they've done a good job with tuning both the electric motor and the internal combustion engine to play together nicely. You don't feel a harsh transition, especially when you're at those lower speeds where you have only EV and then the ICE kick in. With regards to the drive selector, same thing as in the Prius, now in manual mode. You have this little knob that you move in various directions and it returns to neutral, or returns to center, I should say. Personally, not my favorite interface, but it works. It's simple. It gets the job done. In manual mode, the shifts definitely are faster, but still, just a suggestion. We care more about the smoothness of the shifts, more so than the speed. Well, actually, if I'm not giving it the beans, the shifts are plenty smooth. But if I'm giving it some throttle and I'm shifting, then you can really feel those shifts a little bit more prominently. Back to regular drive mode. Ooh, yeah. It is very pillowy. Multiple compressions, which is okay in a car like this. We're not going for mid-corner stability while pulling 1G. We've got heated and cooled seats. We have this very interesting vertical wireless charger, which uses these little clamps on the side to hold your phone in place, which I think for most people would be adequate. It's been charging my phone fine. But my concern is if I slow down and then give in to the temptation to behave like a hoonigan, yeah, as expected, the phone comes out. The clamp can't hold it in place when it has to experience the massive G's of the Toyota Crown Hybrid Max under full acceleration. How often is an average Toyota Crown driver going to be giving it the full beans and testing that 5.70 to 60 time? Only you can answer that. Definitely a sleeper though. This car pulls harder than you'd expect. And you can do so while getting fantastic fuel economy. Now, before giving you my final thoughts, let's explore this interior just a little bit. Getting into the rear, seats have some leather, nice materials, decent amount of space. I'm 6'1", sitting behind myself. I have maybe about an inch of headroom. Panoramic sunroof. Not a bad place to be. Interestingly, at this price point, we do not have a power trunk, manual trunk, which I suppose is okay. I've already been traumatized by an Uber driver closing the power trunk on a Model 3 on my head. So maybe that's for the best. It's a very simple interior space. Very black interior space. I'd probably choose something a little bit more colorful. Decent materials. Again, this is Toyota, not Lexus. So who's this vehicle for? If you're a reasonable individual and you want a reasonable vehicle to reflect your reasonability, then this car might be for you. It has a larger ride height than a traditional sedan, such that you have easier ingress and egress without the full height and bulk of a CUV. It's very comfortable to drive. Nice, soft, supple suspension. And it's kind of a sleeper. I'm not kidding, boys. It has more get up and go than you would expect. But what do you guys think? If you were in the market for a reasonable vehicle around the low 50K price point, would you choose this or something else? Let me know with a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Much love, my friends. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in that next one. Man, I'm feeling awfully reasonable right now.